وإنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. مقتدى الصدر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Online social media will take an action on dignity, being raised by our policy.
You see that? That's tens of thousands of people out in the streets telling the world what they want, what they need, what they desire. And when this doesn't work, and this conflict or this this genocide of the Palestinian people at the hands of the Israelis, when that doesn't stop, and the governments don't do anything to intervene or to stop it, or to stop supporting it, hopefully that should be all the proof that people need that our governments around the world do not work for us, do not serve us. They are not here for us. The governments around the world, prime ministers, presidents, all these different leaders around the world and all these different countries, they don't work for the people. Because if the people en masse come out and say, we want this changed, this is what we want, and the government ignores it, well, then that means they don't work for the people. I don't know how many different examples everyone needs until they realize that the governments don't work for us. There are a handful of wealthy men and women on this planet who own and control our politicians and therefore own and control our government. They either hire these people outright and put them in positions of power in our government, or they bribe someone enough until they start working for them. So our governments don't work for us. They work for a handful of the wealthy.
As Russian troops poured across Ukraine's border, kicking off the Russian invasion in late February, something else was happening at the same time in New York. The stock prices of the biggest U.S. weapons manufacturers spiked, many eventually climbing to their highest point in years.
War is good business for parts of the economy.
So people are online talking about Biden's decisions, Netanyahu's decisions, Zelensky's decisions. These people are employees of a group of people whose faces you will never see, names you will never know. They're the face. They've been hired to play the role of a politician so that they can be the face of these wealthy people, so that when anything goes wrong, if the masses decide to actually revolt, those are the people they'll go after. So stop worrying about Biden. Biden's taking orders. Don't worry about Zelensky. Zelensky's taking orders. Don't worry about Netanyahu. Netanyahu's taking orders. These people are employees of a handful of wealthy men and women around the world. Those wealthy men and women around the world use the money that they have and the power that they wield to control our governments, and by extension, for the most part, control our lives, because they determine the policies that are set, the budgets, where our tax dollars go, what we are and aren't able to do with our tax dollars, what is legal and what isn't legal. They determine all of that stuff because they control our government. And people online talking to the wrong people, talking to the to the faces of this group of wealthy people, talking to their puppets, you're just wasting your time. People marching in the streets, you're just wasting your time. All these marches and protests, they're irrelevant. They're all irrelevant because the people, the wealthy people, they need these wars to continue. There is a bit of insanity, and a bit of racism, bit of prejudice, bigotry and jealousy and things like that. That obviously influences these people, but it's all really the money. There's money to be made from war. Huge amounts of money to be made from war. And these people are making bank. They've been making bank for a long time because they make money off of, unfortunately, a lot of things that cause us misery and hardship and harm. They make money off of it. It's profitable for them for this bad stuff to keep happening. That's why it keeps happening, because they're not going to stop as long as they're raking in the money. And they're able to influence our governments because they have, again, access to lots of money, which gives them access to power. So there's only one real way. If you want this kind of stuff to stop, there's only one real way to get the attention of the people that are controlling our government. You have to pull your money. And women, there's women out there making all these videos about how much they're sorry that Palestine's going through this, and they're supporting the Palestinians, and they want this to stop, and to free Gaza and all this stuff. You women are the ones that can lead the charge on this one. Stop buying things. Use your voice online to spread the message that, look, I'm not getting the things that I want, so I'm going to break away from this economic capitalist system, and I'm going to find a way to take away the money from the men and women who are actually controlling all of this stuff until I get the things that I want. You women lead the charge. Stop buying things from these big conglomerate stores, all the big chain stores that you see wherever you live. These big stores like Walmart, Hobby Lobby, all the big restaurants like Applebee's, which nobody goes to Applebee's anymore, but all the big chain restaurants that people tend to go to, the small fast food chain restaurants, the small drugstores, the big drugstore chains like CVS and Rite Aid. All those big stores, you have to stop buying things from them. Find other ways to get the things that you need. Go to small mom and pop stores, buy things online, go without certain things, make the things yourself if you can, and then spread the message online that I'm not going to be I'm not going to be going along with this economic capitalist system anymore. I found other options. Talk about those options online. Give people an idea. Spread the concept and the message that if we all collectively stop shopping, or if enough of us stop spending money with these big companies, then we'll get some change. Now, I know a lot of people may say, well, what's not shopping at Walmart gonna do? Well, if you stop shopping at these big stores, you guys don't understand how wealth works. Wealthy people have their hands in so many different pots. So they invest in certain companies. They own pieces of certain companies. All of those little pieces from all of these different investments, that all adds up to a big chunk of money for them. So they pump money into these businesses, all these different businesses. And then if those businesses make a profit, they get a percentage, or their stock goes up, which means that increases their wealth. Loans that they may give out to these companies to collect interest, and they collect profit off of that. So these people, wealthy people, have their hands in a whole bunch of pots. And if you don't affect these people by pulling your money from them, well, why would they stop doing what they're doing? It's beneficial for them. Also, again, I said war is profitable. So the owners of these big chains, like the owners of Walmart or Burger King or H&M or Sephora or what's that other makeup store that would Ulta, Target, all these big, I mean the big chain stores, and you all know the stores that I'm talking about. The owners of these stores, they invest in these companies that make products for war, in these contracting companies. They invest in them. So like, what are the ones, Boeing or Lockheed Martin, all these I don't even know what to call them, but all these companies that make bombs and make planes and make jackets and the clothes that are being made for soldiers, the rations, the guns, the ammunition that provide the water, the shelter. It's a big business. It's a lot of money to be made. It's a lot of money to train, to arm, to clothe, and to house a soldier. And there's millions of these soldiers. These bombs cost a lot of money. The owners of these big chain stores, they invest in those companies that make that stuff. They invest in them. So by shopping in these big chain stores, you are giving the money to the wealthy to these wealthy people who then take your money, use it for a whole bunch of nefarious things, like putting their money together and purchasing politicians, putting their money together and pumping it into the stock of one of these armament companies, which then gives the armament companies more money to make the weapons that they need. The people at the top are getting the power and the money that they need from us. We supply them with that money, which in turn gives them the power to do the things that they need to do. So if you're just going to march and complain, nothing's going to change, because they know that you're not going to stop shopping them. Most people don't pay attention to the fact that they're fueling this whole thing by shopping in these stores. That most people don't pay attention to that, know that, or even if they do, they don't care. They want to keep shopping. The wealthy people know that. So they know, well, these people aren't going to stop, aren't going to do anything to hurt us. They're not going to attack us. We don't have to worry about them trying to fight back, because we control their police. We fund their army. So we'll just use that to defend ourselves from them. We know that they're not going to stop shopping, because apparently material possessions and the fun of spending money is more important to people than the death of children. So if you women want this to stop, instead of going online and wasting your time begging nobody, because I don't know who you're talking to, no one's listening to you, no one in charge, no one who has the ability to make these changes is listening to you. They don't even know you're speaking. So instead of going online and trying to talk to them, you need to use your online presence to talk to the rest of us, the masses. All of you women need to come out and talk to us and spread the message that, look, guys, we're going to stop buying things. We're going to break away from this capitalist system. We're going to take away the money and the power that these wealthy people are using to basically control our lives by controlling our government and our policies and our laws. So we're going to pull our money from them, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, over time, these people will instruct our politicians to do what we say. And at that point, then we can wrest back control from these people. But until then, you wasting your time talking online. People out there marching in the streets, nobody's paying attention to you. They may see you because there's tens of thousands of people out there, but who cares? All you're doing is walking and singing. What are you at, a fucking mobile concert? The people that you're trying to petition to, most of them don't see these protests. They're not anywhere near you. They don't watch them on the news. They don't care. And even if they do see it, it's not relevant to them, because what does that mean to them? You're trying to tell me that the people that are actually controlling all this, the wealthy people, you think they're going to listen to you out of the goodness of their hearts, or are they going to continue to do what helps them financially? Figure it out. They don't care if you're complaining in the streets, obviously, because they are, what is the word I'm trying to use? I get stuck on words now for some reason. I'm getting too old. They're participating in the death of children, in the murder of children. These wealthy people who you're petitioning to and you're begging, they are the ones responsible for murdering children, because it helps make more money for them. You think now because you're in the street that's going to make them a good person and they're going to change their mind? No, they murder children for profit. So you can't appeal to them and beg and plead and try to appeal to their emotions and to the goodness of the goodness in their hearts. That's not there. Like most criminals, like most people, money is what drives them, and it's the most important thing. Unless you do something to punish these people, and I mean taking away their money, they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to listen to you. That's financially beneficial for them, for this conflict, these wars around the world to keep happening, for these attacks. In this case, we're not talking about a conflict. We're talking about a terrorist act. But because this terrorist act is being perpetrated by a country that is home to some of the richest people in the planet and supported by some of the richest people in the planet, they're calling it a conflict. But this terrorist attack, the terrorist attacks that happen around the world when big powers go after these smaller countries and these smaller populations and smaller civilizations, all these things are going to keep happening because it generates it's money. It generates money. Until you take away the money of these wealthy people, they're not going to listen to anything that you say. Nothing. Nothing will change. Men and women are still going to sign up for the military because they get paid to kill people. And the wealthy have made sure that people are so poor that young men and women will risk their lives and become mercenaries just to make some money because, everything is so expensive. Don't want to get a regular job at McDonald's if you're like 18, 19. You want a job that's going to give you hopefully a career and benefits in the future. And that is what a soldier is. That's going into the military will give you all that. So you're not going to have men and women who stop joining the army. That's always going to be a thing. And as long as you have men and women in the army whose existence is do what you're told in order to get paid, well, you're gonna have men and women dropping bombs on people on people around the world indiscriminately, and shooting people indiscriminately, and dropping tear gas, and all these different poisons on people indiscriminately, because they need that in order to make money for themselves. The wealthy people aren't gonna stop doing this because, as I keep saying, they generate money from this. This is a business for them. It is a business. How many businessmen and women do you know who find out that one of their products is bad and is harming people? How many of those business people do you know say, you know what, I'm going to stop selling this product and I'm just going to stop making money? Have you ever met one? So then why would you go to businessmen and tell them, I want this war stopped? I want these attacks to stop. This kind of stuff's not going to stop because it's how these businessmen and women make their money. If you want to stop this stuff, you want to put a dent in it, you want to get the attention of the wealthy men and women that control you and that control the rest of us and that are controlling all of this, you have to punish them. You have to give them a consequence when they don't do the things that you tell them to do. Stop worrying about politicians and government leaders because those people don't work for you. They are employees of the wealthy who have been paid and put in place to play the role of a politician. They're a puppet who just is there to tell you what the wealthy want you to hear, there to try to placate you, try to pacify you, try to divide you, or direct your attention away from the actual enemy and direct it somewhere else. So in my country, you have the Republicans and the Democrats fighting against each other all the time. So the stupid masses think, oh, well, it's the Republicans are the enemy, or the Democrats are the enemy. No. The Republicans and the Democrats both work for the enemy, and their job is to distract you from the real enemy to someone else, to this other party. So stop wasting your time with talking to these politicians and begging online and going in the streets and walking. You can conserve all that energy. You don't have to walk in the streets. You just have to affect their money. Punish the people that are controlling our lives when they engage in things that harm us. Punish them, and you punish them by taking away their money. No bully will stop attacking you or hurting you if there is no consequence. If you don't fight back or you don't hurt them in some way, why would a bully stop? They'll only stop when they get tired, when they don't feel like doing it anymore. If you want them to stop, you have to punish them. There has to be a consequence when these people don't listen to the demands that we have. Consequence, and that consequence is to take away their money. So if you look at my other videos on this channel, that's pretty much all I talk about now, is trying to convince people to stop shopping. It's trying to get people to hear that message. YouTube, Twitter, all these other platforms, they do everything they can to block me, shadow ban me, and keep me quiet. But I'm going to keep making these. If you want this to change, you have to stop shopping. Spread this message. I don't ask people to like my videos or subscribe to my videos or even to share my videos. But if you hear this and it makes sense to you, then you need to spread the concept and the message and the idea on your own platform that if you want these kinds of things to stop, there has to be a consequence to the wealthy. There has to be a consequence for the people that are actually controlling all of this. And that consequence will be us withdrawing our money from them by not shopping in their stores collectively, shutting down this system that provides money and by extension power to the people that are controlling our lives. Stop shopping.